Welcome to a new video of the Wool and Twine Fiber Studio YouTube channel. My name is Jule and I'm the dye and maker behind Wool and Twine Fiber Studio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany, where I play with botanical dyes and natural yarns. Welcome to a new episode of my knitting podcast. I'm so happy that you're here, and I can't wait to update you again on what I've been up to knitting-wise. I'm still trying to find a way on how I can upload more regularly and have a good amount of content each time, because I'm a very monogamous knitter and I kind of wonder how I can keep up with a more regular uploading schedule while most of the time working on one or maximum two projects. So I don't know how exciting that would be. However, I'm working on showing up here more often. This is definitely the goal for 2026, and I hope I can keep up with it, and I'm still trying to find my way into having a more consistent uploading schedule, I guess. So since I'm still figuring out things with this channel and I have a few ideas for the next year, I would love to hear your thoughts on what you're interested in content-wise and what you'd like me to have, chat about. So feel free to leave some ideas in the comments if you like. I always love to read them. And yeah, but for today I want to just show you what I've been working on and take you along a little bit of my festive cast-on plans, because when this episode goes live it's relatively close before the holidays, here for me at least. So I usually have this tradition of having, a new cast on for the holidays. And let's see what I'm going to do this year. I have very vague plans so far, because it has been a relatively busy couple of weeks. So I'm only just now starting to kind of tidy up everything and get into a flow of planning the new year. I haven't had a ton of knitting and planning time yet. However, I absolutely love this time of year. I don't know how it's with you, but I just really love to, plan things and get ready for the next year. I have switched over to analog and digital planning last year again, and I'm still reworking the process a little bit, and my setup needs to change a little bit for the new year, and I'm currently trying to write down everything I want to perfect for my system and make it work long term, and that's a lot of fun to do. And in general I hope to have some more headspace over the holidays and just sit down with a couple of plans and organize some things for 2026. For me, this is always a very exciting time of year. I don't know, I really love planning and I love to have everything meticulously laid out. Although I have to admit that I learned over the years that this is not always how it works. Especially this year, there were so many things that just happened in life in general, or things that would affect my business, and therefore I needed to change some things up, which can also be exciting. However, I tried to find a good balance between having things planned and having different scenarios laid out, and then, embracing the kind of unpredictability at the same time, if that makes sense. Anyhow, I like to leave some space, obviously, in the schedule, but I like to have just a rough idea of how my year is going to be like, and have some points throughout the year that I already know what's going to be happening or what I want to do, at least in the business realm, and have a couple of travel plans laid out and all of these things. So yeah, long story short, I absolutely love planning, and this time of year always inspires me so much to start thinking about new projects, to start figuring out what I want to do with the next year with my business. And that's one of the big lovely things about being self-employed, being able to plan ahead and having the freedom of creating your own visions and your own projects. And while sometimes it can also be daunting, and you're also on your own with these things, there's no one's gonna catch you if you fall. I really like this part of being self-employed for sure. and, coming up with plans and coming up with ideas and visions. It's just always, I don't know, I really like this time of year and doing this right now. So I also will be setting up a new crafting journal kind of thingy that I will use to document my projects. So let me know if you're interested in a video about this, for example, because I know some of you have been asking me in my stories when I was posting about something, what kind of planning system I use for my project. And I have finally settled on one that I think is going to stick with me. So let me know if you want me to share about this, if it's something you're curious about. But yeah, so far that's what I'm currently doing, kind of trying to tidy the studio, rearranging a couple of things. We had a big rearrangement session recently, and at the same time kind of keeping up with orders and, just general to-dos. It feels like a little bit, like my days are a little bit all over the place at the moment because I'm working on so many things. But I can already feel that slowly I'm kind of getting to the point where I feel like I'm in control and I'm ready to start planning new things for 2026, which is a very nice feeling, I would say. But yeah, that also explains why I haven't knitted a ton, but I have some things to share with you. So I guess without further ado, let me start sharing what I've been working on. So my first project that I want to share with you is actually my current main work in progress. And that one is living in this beautiful project bag that I just recently purchased from Milda of Payauta Makes. I will link her down below, and she hand sews and embroiders these beautiful project bags. And when I saw this new model that she had, like I own some of her bags already and I've already gifted them to my knitting family members as well. But when I saw that she had this new style out, I knew I wanted to get one because this bag has a certain type of drawstring closure that you can actually, when you open it, it acts almost like a basket, if that makes sense. And this one was very useful for me because I love to just, set this down on the couch next to me when I'm knitting in the evening. And this is very handy for when you want to just pull from the project bag without having your yarn roll everywhere, especially because I'm currently using 2 strands of yarn together and I've had just 2 skeins wound up already, and I didn't want to use like center pull and outside pull, so I used 2 separate balls for this project, and it was very useful for this case because otherwise, I would have 2 balls to pull from and then they could, just fall and it would be annoying. So yeah, I'm super happy with this new project bag from Milda. It's very beautifully done hand embroidery that she's so good at, and I love the color scheme as well. So yeah, absolutely in love with my newest acquisition. I bought these with my own money, by the way, no sponsoring or anything. I just wanted to share this because I genuinely love her bags. And what's in there is my current main work in progress. Oh, I should maybe mention, I am wearing my matcha jumper, by the way, which is a design by Ines of Vednit. And I'm wearing this one in my heirloom DK base. So yeah, this has become one of my absolute most worn items, to be honest. And since it's quite chilly at the studio at the moment and I'm doing a lot of computer work and organizing at my desk, I really love to wear this jumper currently. But yeah, about my current work in progress. So this is my main project and it is a test knit for Joanne Phil is her Instagram. I will link her somewhere and also in the description down below. And this one is the Terra cardigan. Oh, let me check if the lighting is a bit too low. This is the Terra cardigan by Joanne Phil. And it is a beautiful textured piece of a cardigan, or at least a back piece so far. It has this 4-row pattern repeat that is created with slip stitches. It's super simple, and I absolutely love how it develops in this yarn. So I'm very happy with the yarn and pattern combo, because when I did my swatch earlier, let me show it to you. This is the swatch. I was so happy because the texture, you know, I knew that this texture is going to be more on like the geometrical, very symmetrical kind of side, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a whimsical touch. So I knew that I wanted to make this one in Nurture, because Nurture is a yarn that has a relatively, I don't know if you can see, but it has a bit of a halo. And I kind of wanted this fuzziness of the halo to kind of soften the geometrical pattern, and I think it's turning out really nicely. I'm very, very pleased with this combination. So I'm holding Nurture double, because Nurture is a fingering weight fin sheep yarn that I make in collaboration with Iran Kahramö, which is Annina's yarn mill in Finland, actually, that I was very happy to visit, I think 2 years back by now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is a yarn that I absolutely adore, and this is a new colorway that I'm currently using, and that should be coming out in early 2026 if things go to plan. So yeah, that is that for now. I'm at the back panel still, and I just recently finished the increase section, so I'm now at the part where you would, you know, just knit straight down after the increase section and have, you know, the length for the body in the back. And then I guess I will pick up from here and start the fronts. But you cast on this little piece, and then you simply increase on both sides to the desired width that the size calls for, and then you just knit straight down to, you know, give some depth to the back piece. And I have to say that I'm really happy with how this textured pattern is going, because it's the perfect amount of you know, engagement, and that it keeps it interesting. But I don't need to count rows or keep track of a chart or anything. I can just knit this, you know, out of my head, because it's very simple, the pattern repeat. Plus, because it's so symmetrical, I can, you know, count the rows very easily with this pattern. So it's very nice to do. This pattern is still in test knitting, as mentioned, but I will make sure to update you along the way and how it's going. And yeah, I really love it, and I can't wait. I already think I need to order some new buttons for this one, because I feel like the darkness of this shade requires some lighter buttons, and I kind of use a lot of light buttons recently, so my stash is very limited. But yeah, I will check if I can find some suitable buttons, and if not, I will order some. But yeah, so far about my Terra cardigan. I will work on this during the holidays, because it's a very good social project, due to the pattern being relatively easy to follow. So I hope I can maybe manage to knit both fronts relatively quickly, so then I can join them in the round, and then, you know, maybe during the festivities I will be able to just have simple back and forth for the rest of the body until it reaches desired length. I should also maybe show you, this is, well, this looks very weird. This is a new needle that I'm testing at the moment. I'm a die-hard chiaogoo lover. No sponsorships or anything. I buy all of these with my own money, but when I went to Knitfest in Switzerland, which I will also tell you a bit more about in a second, there was one booth, I cannot remember the name, but they had these new carbon fiber chiaogoos that I wanted to try. And usually they are only available in a set, and I usually don't really want to commit to a new set, because I have the metal ones in a set form, and I kind of wanted to just try one pair. So I got one 4mm needle pair that I'm using here, and so far I like them. They are a bit warmer than metal needles, but I have to say they are not wowing me. and they are even more expensive than the metal ones. So I don't know if I would say they are gonna be my next favorites. And also, so far they are only available in the 13 centimeter length. And for my hands, I have pretty small hands. They are massive. So I guess I would, like next time, I would definitely get myself a shorter pair and try again. But so far, I'm okay with them. I do like them. It's not that they are like not good, but I don't love them. So that is my verdict so far. But you know, always trying new things. And I mean, I just know that carbon can be very helpful with weight. And I was thinking maybe it's good for the hands to have lighter needles without having to go wood or bamboo, which is unfortunately something I can't work with, or at least I really don't like to. So yeah, I just wanted to try it and I'm quite happy so far. So I guess that is it about my current work in progress. Let me start sharing a little bit about my knitting plans. So I have this tradition that I really like to do around the holidays, that I do some kind of like a festive cast on to celebrate that I have some time off and, you know, have some cozy season with a lot of nice festivities and nice, nice things happening in general. So I usually have a festive cast on. And for this time, I hope it will be a new project in a new yarn. And this is the yarn. So let me show you. This is a new DK weight yarn. I'm not going to share anything more about it yet. But I think I want to make, it's very bouncy and extremely soft. And I kind of want to make a slip over, but not one that is very tight under the in the armholes, but one that is really wide here, because I love my linen dresses and they are relatively, they have a bit of a sleeve usually, and I don't like it to be like all bunched up. So I kind of want to make one. I remember that when I went to KnitFest in November, Inga of Knitting Traditions, I will link her down below. She has a lovely podcast. She had one of those slipovers that has these little ties at the sides, and it was very nice and I loved it. And I kind of want to make something like it. However, I haven't found a pattern yet that would be size inclusive. So the only pattern I found so far was just going up until 120 centimeters, and that's not what I'm going for. I found another one that's by Petite Knit. I saw it and it has buttons. It has a very deep armhole as well, and then buttons. I love that one. It's I will post a picture somewhere here. It's the Lulu slip over, I guess. But yeah, I haven't settled on a pattern yet. I just know that it's gonna need a DK weight gauge and that I'm gonna use this yarn for it. But so far I haven't really made up my mind on what pattern I want to go for. So if you have something in mind, feel free to leave it down below. But yeah, I would say something like a 19 to 20 stitches per 10 centimeters. Probably 20 stitches per 10 centimeters will be a good gauge for this one. So yeah, feel free to leave me some suggestions below if you like. And yeah, if you would like to cast on with me, feel free to, and feel very invited to also do a festive cast on. I usually don't start on the 24th, which is the Christmas evening here for us in Germany. But I usually start on the 25th in the morning. That is usually my timing, but yeah, however you feel like. It would be lovely to have like a virtual kind of cast on together, thinking of each other and having a bit of a community moment that day. But let's see how it goes. So far about my plans, I guess without further ado, let me start sharing some acquisitions with you. So as you might know, for acquisitions, they usually are not very many, because I do have my own, yarn brand. So oftentimes the knitting time I have goes into samples, and since I do all of my samples myself, I do that because I love to get to know the yarn and get to know how it behaves. Since I do that, I don't really have a lot of yarn purchases throughout the year. They are relatively few. I mean, I did treat myself to the project bags and, stitch markers every now and then. However, I wanted to share this with you because it's a very special and nice yarn. And it's also kind of like a keepsake. Because if you know me, I do love to get myself keepsake yarn from events or things that I travel to, from shops or like local treats that I can get wherever I travel, and then I take them home and I have them as my like keepsakes from the trip. I love to do that whenever I travel to the UK, for example, and it's just a really nice thing, to have the memories from the trip, and while you're knitting with the new yarn, it's just a very lovely thing. So this is my keepsake from last month's travels to Zurich for the Knit Fest, which is a new knitting festival that took place in Zurich. I have a little vlog kind of section in my latest episode from last month, so I will link that one down below if you want to see some vloggy content from the festival to get the vibe a little bit. However, I also wanted to share about my acquisitions in this episode. And the festival took place in Zurich early November, and there were a lot of different vendors. And what I really liked about it was actually that there were a lot of other approaches to the festival than just being a marketplace. So for me, what I really enjoyed about it was that it was a real feeling of community there, and that there was more of a diverse approach to whom they invited for, to vent, and whom they invited to give a talk or a workshop. And I got so inspired there. I met so many lovely people, like thanks to everyone who was there. And one thing I definitely want to pick up more for 2026, I have already written it down for my kind of like next year's setup and goals system, is doing more crochet and doing more garment crochet, because I met the most wonderful crochet designers at KnitFest, and I felt so connected to them, especially Moa from Honse Design and Sandra from Nomad Stitches. They were both wearing the most inspiring crochet garments that kind of broadened my horizon about what crochet can do. For me, I learned how to crochet, but I kind of turned my head to knitting so quickly because it was my mom's favorite hobby. She showed me how to knit, and for some reason it felt natural to do, to join her in the knitting part. But I'm kind of sad that I didn't explore crochet more earlier on, because I know basic things about it, but I think I was kind of trapped in the thought that I think a lot of people kind of are, that crochet is more difficult to execute in terms of, drape and all of these things for garments, and might not be as suitable for garments, and a lot of people do more like homeware stuff with it. And I kind of felt so inspired by these amazing humans, and I really want to pick up more crochet for next year. So that is one goal for sure. And yeah, overall, I have to say that I really loved how the festival included other fiber crafts. Also, I was trying a knitting machine for the first time, which was really exciting. And there was something about bobbin lace, if I'm not mistaken. And, overall, I felt like it was a more wholesome, diverse approach to a fiber festival, and I can only say thank you to the organizers of this amazing event, because not only was it very well done and very well thought through, like I felt so appreciated as someone who was invited to give a panel talk and cover some live stream slots. I felt so appreciated in my work, and they thought of literally everything to make us feel comfortable and at home while we were there. So I really appreciated that. And overall, I think it was a good mix of both the approach that I liked, and having not just knitting as the center of the festival, but fiber crafts in general, plus the really thoughtful and really inviting atmosphere that they created for us was just something I really I really enjoyed. And I hope there's going to be many, many more of these. I know there's already a save the date for next year, and I might have penciled it into my calendar already. So it's definitely one that I want to go back to, and can wholeheartedly recommend if you're kind of local in the Central European area to potentially plan a visit, because it's a very lovely festival. So these are from a brand called Roll Up the Sheep, and they are from Portugal, and they focus on sustainable production and local sheep breeds and working with local manufacturers and artisan makers. So I think that's very much up my alley, I guess. And they make these very natural, minimally processed yarns in natural sheep colors from local sheep breeds with local mills. So absolutely loving their approach. Apologies for the random woolen twine label here. They didn't have labels on the yarn, so I wanted to make sure that I at least remember what it was. So I put one of my random handwritten labels on it. However, this one is a blend of local Portuguese wool and then some linen content in it, which I loved, and I absolutely adore the color. Can't wait to maybe make a transitional summery project from this one. Next up, we have this one, and it's a blend of Portuguese wool and alpaca, which I'm very excited for. And it's like a very thin lace weight kind of single ply. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I feel like I want to hold it with something and make like a very lightweight, breezy piece out of it. Next up, I have this chunky skein of local Portuguese wool, which is like a 2-ply, and I believe it's woolen spun, like a sport weight maybe. It looks to me like this, but I have to look up the specs again, and I will definitely link them down below. I just don't remember them as of now, but yeah, can't wait to try these beauties. That will be also a little bit like a keepsake for me for my lovely trip to Zurich, which was just very remarkable and stuck to me very much and left definitely some lovely memories. So I can't wait to kind of figure out something I can do with them, and then I will remember this lovely trip and all the amazing humans that I met there. So yeah, wholeheartedly recommending KnitFest as well. So yeah, I guess that is it for this acquisition section. And I guess that is it for this episode. I don't have a ton to show, but I thought, just a little catch up before the holidays would be lovely. So I hope you enjoyed me ramble about what I'm up to. And I wanted to, in case you're celebrating, I wanted to wish you the coziest and most wonderful holidays with your loved ones. I know also this time of year can be challenging for some, so I just wish you a lot of warmth and a lot of light in your days. And yeah, wish you all the best for 2026. And I guess it is just to say see you next year, and until then, happy knitting. Bye.